Welcome to Everything Fear. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the 1989 movie Warlock. Hello and welcome to Everything Fear, your one-stop shop for all things horror. I'm Kit Tinsley, I'm a horror author, film academic and general horror geek. If you enjoy this video, if you could please give us a like, subscribe and maybe tickle that bell icon to be notified when we upload future content, that would be great, thank you. As I say, today I'm going to be doing a review of the 1989 movie Warlock. Warlock is a 1989 horror adventure movie starring Julian Sands, Richard E. Grant and Laurie Singer. I first saw this movie when it first came out in the UK when I was about 11, and I loved this movie. I bought it on VHS and I watched it so many times back then. However, when I got rid of my VHS collection in the late 90s, early 2000s, I never managed to find a replacement for my copy of Warlock on DVD. So over time I forgot about the film. Until recently, and I decided to look it up and try and find myself a copy. Currently there doesn't seem to be a Blu-ray release of this movie in the UK. In the US there is a great box set put together by Vestron of the entire trilogy. However, that's region locked. This is the German steelbook version of the trilogy on Blu-ray, and as you can see it's absolutely gorgeous. New paintings on the front and inside the case, and the original VHS and poster artwork on the back. Unfortunately, I can't speak German, so I couldn't tell what special features were on it because I couldn't read the little paper insert that came with it. However, having watched all of the special features on the first movie, I can say that they are the same special features as on the Vestron release in the US. Great behind the scenes footage, on-set interviews, as well as brand new featurettes about makeup effects, visual effects, directing and so on. As I say, the set contains all three movies in the series. However, this review is purely going to focus on the original 1989 movie. First of all though, the Blu-ray transfer is great. This movie looks fantastic. Warlock tells the story of a male witch who is sentenced to death in 1691. However, he is saved from this fate by the devil, who sends him through time to LA in 1988. He's pursued through time by his nemesis, Redfern, the witch hunter. The Warlock is charged by Satan with retaking the Devil's Bible, or the Grand Grimoire, and putting it back together in order to thwart creation itself. He curses Cassandra, with a K, a young woman he encounters with a fate of aging 20 years every day. Unless she gets back the bracelet that he stole from her, she can't break the spell and will die within a week of old age. So with the clock ticking, Redfern and Cassandra begin a chase across country to catch up with the Warlock. So what do I like about this movie? Still pretty much everything. The casting is great. Sands as the Warlock has this sort of charm and wit that makes him even more sinister. Richard E. Grant as Redfern is also fantastic. He's so passionate about catching this Warlock. There's a real depth to the character. Laurie Singer as this sarcastic valley girl brings an interesting foil to Redfern's seriousness, which, creates some humour within the film. The film was directed by Steve Miner, who'd already had great success in the horror genre with 2 entries in the Friday the 13th franchise and the amazing haunted house movie House. His direction on Warlock is outstanding. The look of the 1691 period of the film is absolutely amazing. It's some of the most realistic looking period footage I've seen. And the rest of the movie is shot beautifully. The music composed by Jerry Goldsmith in this film is amazing. Goldsmith had done so many films, including Alien before this, but I think that his theme for Warlock is one of the best pieces he ever did. It's such an instantly recognisable piece of music to anyone who's seen the movie. The tone of the movie is fantastic as well. Although a horror movie, it contains elements of adventure films, road movies and fantasy. And also there's some comedy in there, although it never detracts from the horror. Its presentation of witchcraft is really, really well researched. Writer David Toohey, who would go on to write and direct the Riddick films in years to come, really researched old superstitions about witchcraft, as well as adding in his own creations. But this research and the inclusion of these real superstitions makes the ones he created all the more believable. The film should have been a huge success. Unfortunately, the liquidation of the distributor New World meant that the release was in limbo and delayed in the US for a couple of years. This meant that the excitement and interest that had been garnered by the advertising campaign was lost, basically, and the film never did as well in the US as it perhaps should have done. What didn't I like? Honestly, there's not a lot in this movie I don't like. Some of the visual effects might seem a little cheesy now, but they were perfectly adequate for the time, and they're really well done. And some of the matte paintings are outstanding. Even on the Blu-ray restoration, it's really difficult to tell that those things aren't actually there, that they're actually matte paintings. Like its central characters, Warlock is somewhat a film lost in time. However, it still holds up today. Sadly, the sequels didn't maintain the high standards of the original, but more on that in the coming few weeks as I review the remaining 2 movies in the franchise. Well, that was my review of the 1989 movie Warlock. If you've seen the film, tell me what you think of the film down in the comments below. And until next time, stay scared and stay tuned.